Leandra here at the Kentucky facility for new Vocations Racehorse adoption program, and today for this Trainer Tip Tuesday, we have with us Ali, who is not only the assistant facility director here in Kentucky, but she's also one of the fabulous riders, and she is also a fitness instructor at Orange Theory. So we every once in a while try to tap into, and actually all the time, I think, try to tap into her knowledge for that, because generally when we're talking about these tips that we do every week, or when we have little segments, they're about the horses, but equally as important as the horses is to focus on yourself, because ideally you're working in partnership with your horse. If either one of you is a weak link, then your performance together will not be prosperous. So we want to talk about working on ourselves this week and things that you can do around the barn to help strengthen your overall ability as a rider for things like posture or stability under saddle. And we've also recruited Devin here, who also works in the barn and basically keeps it running and patches things together, because it's a barn and things break all the time. So Devin's here to save that. So he's also going to be helping to demonstrate. So without further ado, let's hand it over to Ali, and she's going to be walking us through some of these things.
Yes. So we have just a few exercises that are easy to do in the barn. I know gym memberships are often expensive, you don't have time, whatever reason, to not actually go to the gym and work out yourself. So we figured we'd make it easy, do little exercises that are in-house so you really can do them anywhere. But as a rider, like Leandra was saying, it's really easy to forget about yourself, but truly if you are imbalanced as a rider at all, that can impact your horse without you even knowing it. So these exercises are not only going to help your balance, but also really help your posture as well. And with your posture, it's very important to have strong your anterior muscles and also your posterior. So strong chest and back muscles are also going to help you with your core as well, kind of tie everything together. So the exercises we have today are going to help your chest and your back. So without further ado, we will get into them. Like I said, we're using things that are around the barn, so you can use them anywhere. We have some bottles of, I'm not even sure, Shoshin, pie spray, whatever, it doesn't matter. But to start, like I said, we're going to be working our back muscles. So what they're going to start first is with a low row. So you're going to hinge over at their hips, pushing their hips all the way back with a soft bend in their knees, and then they're going to row all the way up, bringing those bottles right into their armpits and then dropping it down nice and slow. Every time they lift up, they're going to squeeze their shoulder blades together. These muscles right here, as she lets them go, nice and slow, bringing them up, very important to actively contract those muscles and then dropping them back down. So these again are going to be working your lats, helping you to sit up straight in the saddle. That's probably good, unless you guys can keep going.
Great, feels great.
I would say anywhere from, you want to do 4 sets, 3 or 4 sets at about 10 to 12 reps is always a good place to start. If you're not using things around the barn in actual weights, it can be a little different, and depending on the weight, like I said, that will also play into a factor in terms of your sets and your rep counts. Another thing that's really important is isolating moves. That's not only going to help your balance, but also your stability in the saddle. Also, if you're working around the barn, let's say you're always picking up hoop with one hand, that's going to heavily make one side of your body stronger than the other without you sometimes even noticing. So it's really important to do isolated movements just to make sure that both of your arms, legs, whatever it is, are equally as strong. So what they're going to do on one side is going to raise up overhead with a single arm shoulder press. And without them maybe even noticing, it's also going to work your core as well. Your core stays really tight as you press it all the way up overhead and bring it right back down. So again, I would do about 10 to 12 on each side. Switch sides and then run through it again about 3 to 4 times. That's perfect, great form. Anytime that you're doing isolated movements and a compound movement too, it's working your core without you even noticing, like I said. So tying everything in together will really help you under saddle. Last thing I'll show you all about the back. Again, they're going to hinge over at their hips and do a reverse fly. So with those bottles, they're going to bring their arms out here. Same kind of concept where they're squeezing those lats together and their shoulder blades like there is a pencil between them, adding just a soft bend in the elbow, to really help them be able to squeeze those muscles together as they're bringing it back. And again, core is braced, whether or not they even know it, so it's a little 2 for 1 in terms of the muscles that they're working.
I find them making noises at the top of it. Help mentally. I gotta work on that one.
Those muscles, when you're getting into the smaller back muscles, are often pretty weak, so start starting out with lighter weights and then gradually building on is probably the best route to go, because you always want to make sure you are maintaining form, not compromising form for a heavier dumbbell. Last thing, we'll stretch out some chest muscles if y'all come over here. All it takes is a wall, a stall, whatever. They're going to place your arm and just turn this way. It's a little shoulder mobility and stretching your chest, keeping your core stays tight. Hips are right underneath you. Taking some deep breaths. You're holding it for about 30 seconds on each side and then switching it around. We were doing this earlier and Leandra said that she could really feel it in her shoulders.
It feels so good.
So just doing this, adding it in if you're about to ride, after you ride, anytime really that you just have the time. Chest muscles, easy fix, just to do some push-ups here and there, especially as females it is very difficult to kind of build up your chest muscles more than men. So just starting with push-ups. Do you want me to? Yeah, do the snake one. So this is a good variation and modification. It's called a snake push-up. Leandra's going to lower herself all the way to the ground. Make sure her chest, or not her chest, but her core is coming to the ground and pressing back up. Trying to keep a nice flat line all the way down her spine as she lowers. And then again, nice straight line as she comes all the way up. So great modification for a push-up as you're working in. Bodyweight moves are awesome for building up any of these muscles, especially in your chest. So all it takes is a push-up and then adding the flexibility with your chest and shoulders. All around, like I said, isolating moves. We can go over some legs as well at another time, but I just wanted to show you all some upper body moves that should help in the saddle just to keep everything strong and stable so you're working as a great partner with your horse.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Ali. I hope everyone enjoyed that. Definitely let us know if there are other things that you feel like you need to work on or you have recommendations for other videos. We'd love to help however we can. As always, thank you so much for joining us this week for our Trainer Tip Tuesday. Hope you're having a good one and tune in next time.
Thanks, Devin.